What up, peeps? I just got back from an anti-lying convention where honesty is the only way to achieve success. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about the game that we're going to discuss next.
Team Sonic Racing is a good game. I tried, okay? I tried my best. As much as I love this game, I just can't say that this is a good game.
I really don't want to bring this game down or cause any trouble, but to make some sort of perspective, I need to compare this game between a game that's also currently releasing in that time as well. We really ran out of inks.
Team Sonic Racing feels like they exist to fill the gap before CTR Nitro Fuels was released, and I felt really bad about the game for being seen that way. Here's the keyword for today. I mean, I would feel bad if the game itself tries to be good. Allow me to explain. Team Sonic Racing has been the most anticipated game in 2019. They brought back Sumo Digitals, the studio who made the previous Sonic Racing game titles, which is a good thing. I always loved their work in terms of the gameplay. I mean, I still went back to play All-Star Racing Transform from time to time. It's fun! In Team Sonic Racing, they built so much hype before the games is released. I mean, aside from the obvious where almost all video games do promotional stuff before the games is released, for me, TSR did something way more above the line than any other promotional video game events. They teased weekly with their upcoming in-game soundtrack, they did a classic 19S commercial specifically for this game. Hello there, Takashi Iizuka, I always love you. They even have an animated cartoon for this game, and it's good! How is this game flop? So much involvement with the community and content creators alike before the initial release. This game is promising!
Yeah, I won't say it flopped though, but I do find a core problem about the game. Yeah, we ran out of papers.
The moment the game drops, that's it. No further update, nothing at all.
Well, that's all folks. Goodbye!
Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start again. Team Sonic Racing.
I have problems!
It's a team-based kart racing game developed by Sumo Digitals. As I said before, this is their third installment on this series. The gimmick in this current game is, why lose alone, where you can lose together as a team? Yes, you heard me right, this is a team kart racing game, where you group up with other two racers and try to get to the top as much as possible. If all your teammates is near at the top of the leaderboards, then the more points you'll earn and win. Now, since this is a team-based game, you need this one thing called...
What the fuck is this?
I mean, you can play alone in solo mode, but where's the fun in that? Anyways, let's dive into the start of the game, the team race mode.
I mean, if you want to get some footage together, we could play together, man. I mean... For the last time, I'm not going to make you involved in any of my stuff anymore. Besides, I'm fine playing with bots. They're more human than y'all are. You almost crossed the line. Hey, in fact, they're... What?
Hey, is your Yoshi there yet? We haven't heard any updates from you, so maybe...
For the last time, I don't need anyone else. Nobody likes your channel, and nobody likes you. What are you looking at?
This game offers plenty of memorable areas from past Sonic games, such as Planet Wisp from Sonic Colors, Spogonia from Sonic Unleashed, and so on. And each area gives us 3 different tracks to choose from, and each with their own style. It's just so nice to see Cool Edge back again with some new looks and style, especially with the music.
We'll get to the music later. And I'm serious with this one.
As for the characters, we have Sonic.
Ooh! It's him!
And we also got our favorite mainline Sonic characters from the series. And there's also Zaphox. In this game, all of the characters here have their own specialties. For example, Sonic is speed, which means you are the fastest from the team, but you have to stick to the main tracks to maintain that speed. Knuckles is power, you have mediocre speed and also handles poorly in the corner. And for a reason. Tails is technical, meaning you're not the fastest, but you can go off-road and can still maintain your top speed, while also having the ability to turn easily in the corner. Which is also a funny way to say,
I suck at this game.
Next, we have the customization. And can I say that I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. I always like customizing your own vehicle with different colors and parts. It's just so refreshing and fun. However, you have to be a bit smart though, because each part will affect your overall vehicle stats and it really does leave a huge difference during the race. So to recap, you go pick your character, pick your loadout, boom, you're in the race. It's simple. But I do have one question though.
Why can't I pick my own team?
That's right, you don't have the option to choose your own teammates. Why? Isn't creating your own team part of the idea? So now if I play as Sonic, I'm stuck with Tails and Knuckles. If I play as Shadow, I'm stuck with Rouge and Omega. And if I play as Metal Sonic, I'm stuck with Eggman and... I mean, in the Grand Prix, you'll get the chance to actually be paired with different members from the other teams. But that doesn't change the fact that I still can't pick my own members. So now the only way for you to create your own team is to play local or online multiplayer with someone else and be in the same team.
Fine, I'll apologize. I feel bad yelling at them anyways. Hello? Get off! I tried.
Once again, yes, you can play alone in solo mode and not have to worry about picking your own teams, but you'll be missing a lot of the main features and won't have the ability to access the Team Ultimate, which is also part of the main gimmicks of the game. So yeah, solo mode is there, but that's it. Probably you can enjoy playing solo if you disable all items and focus more on pure honest race. That could be fun sometimes. Time trial's also there. Now, speaking of disabling items, yes, you also have a variety of custom rules for a race, such as Elimination, Vampire Race, King of the Hill, and many more. It's just, I don't really bother that much with it. Yes, it can make the race feel more different, but so far it's just a nice addition that somehow exists. Though I didn't really see as much playability since most people online, we'll talk about online soon, would rather pick a normal race instead of the other modes anyways.
Permission to be angry? Granted. Ah, thank you.
Online! Or dare I say... Nobody plays this game! This is what you get for abandoning the game, Sega! Where's all those enthusiasm during the pre-release? Oh, you know what? Never mind. You did update something. At July last year!
Alright, I'm not joking here. I played this game on Steam, and usually if there's a patch notes or patch release updates, they will put the news here, they will put the notes here. But no, they only released one patch note, and that was like last year, 2019, 15 July 2019. How am I supposed to expect something new in this game? No, my phone.
I remember that there's an update in regards in the party system, so you can easily be in the same team before you go into the lobby, which is a good thing to add if there's people online to begin with. Oh, remember those other modes? Online exclusives! Why do you have to limit these variety of modes for online only? In this case, you're just digging your own grave, man. Make the player feel that there's a reason to go back to the game. How, you may ask?
I don't know. How about we take a look at the game that was released before TSR and the ones after?
Variety of modes online and local multiplayer. New characters, new tracks, new vehicle, monthly event, anything! This game has no reason to say no to those ideas. You have an arsenal of characters in this franchise, buttload of memorable areas and stages from previous titles, yet they still didn't do anything to this game until now. I don't care if it's Green Hill Zone again. Wait, this game doesn't have Green Hill Zone!
Well, what do you know? God exists!
While Mario Kart 8 was released in the Wii U, they kept adding more updates and DLC to keep the game relevant. They added other Nintendo representatives from the first time ever in Mario Kart history, such as Link and the Villagers, added more tracks from classic eras and other franchises.
For God's sake, fucking F-Zero's back!
Promotional vehicle from Mercedes, which is weird and, I don't know, somehow cool, I guess. And did they stop there?
Tell him, Yoshi!
No.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. Battle Mode, Bowser Jr., The Inklings, they are on fire! Now after all of that, don't get me started on CTR Nitro Fuel's Grand Prix system. This game has so much potential and they just wasted that opportunity. Probably the only way to redeem themselves is probably to make some sort of, I don't know, deluxe edition in the future with some new added content like I just mentioned. Though I do heard that there is some kind of 2-in-1 bundle of Sonic Mania and TSR in the near future.
Because of course! Slapping a game that nobody plays into a game that everyone plays makes the game sales! Huge!
But in the meantime, we'll stick to whatever we have right now.
Yoshi, Yoshi tax fraud.
You know what? Yeah, that actually makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, actually, no. I'm going there right now, alright? You just wait. I'm going there right now. Wait, you're really going? But you have me. We could just play together. I'm not gonna repeat myself, alright? So don't complain. The Yoshi talked! You're not gonna drive there? I thought you're not gonna use that thing anymore.
Have you seen outside?
Outside?
Oh yeah, it's 2020.
Right. I'm ready. Wait! 2020.
Alright, time to set up the coordinates. Hopefully it's the right
One. Alright. Huh. It worked. How the f? Look, I can explain.
いいだろう。5分で説明てくれ。
You speak Japanese?
あと2分だ。
Oh, I'm sorry.
わかった。許してあげる。
Didn't think it would be that easy.
What do you want?
I need some help.
どういうことつもり？
An explanation.
なんじゃこれ。
It beats me. That's why I asked for help. Because at first I thought it was some sort of food. It's not.
一緒に調べてみようか。
Alright, cool. Let me just get the game first and... Damn it.
Oh, don't worry, man. We have the game as well.
You guys have Team Sonic Racing as well? Finally! I thought I'm alone in this shithole.
Oh, I get it now. Team Sonic Racing. TSR. Auto was CTR.
Son of a bitch!
Alright, now since we can play this game properly, I can now tell you how the game actually feels. It's pretty good. So before I continue on, I want to apologize in advance because I lost the footage specifically for the 3-player footage gameplay. I played with these guys as well, but yeah, OBS says fuck you apparently, so gonna improvise. Enjoy! Yeah, after all those clusterfuck we just witnessed, the core gameplay of Team Sonic Racing is actually pretty solid. Team mode or even solo mode. Both work very well. Controlling the kart feels nice, drifting feels solid as always. The adrenaline of the speed also felt much more better, and man, it's all good stuff here.
Man, speaking of Sonic games, Sonic Lost World has always been my favorite title to date. And my favorite character is Zephyr.
Now since we're finally playing together, we can choose our own character and be in the dream team.
Zephyr, hell yeah!
I know this is going to be a stupid thing for me to say, but holy shit does it feel more natural playing with a human player. Racing with bots alongside you is fine and all, but you can pretty much predict what is your teammates going to do. If you activate Team Ultimate, they will also do it as soon as you trigger it. If you ask for items, they will immediately give it to you, as well as offering items. They just didn't care. They just took it. Also, the AI for the player's teammates are dumb as hell in expert mode. 80% of every races you did, your teammates will always, and I mean always, bring you down. No matter how hard you try to reach the first place, they just can't keep up. But since I'm currently playing with my friends... The game now feels much more different. Like, oh my god! I really can't explain how, but essentially it's the same thing but more natural. And now you can actually do things to your teammates. Celebrate your victories, blame each other for losing, kill each other. I really can't stress enough that this is how the game was supposed to be played, as it was intended by Takashi himself. Now let's move on and talk more about the gameplay. Aside from Team Ultimate, you have yourself the slingshot, where you have to stay behind your teammates' yellow line that's currently ahead of you to charge up your turbo and gain more speed to catch up with the others. The skim boost is, for me, the most important and reliable feature in a team race could have asked for. If you or a teammate suddenly gets hit by an enemy power-up and slows you down, you or your teammates could save you by near missing the one who's in trouble and bring us back to the race just like that. You have no idea how Skim Boost saved my life countless times in a race. It's game-changing, my dude. Now, speaking of trouble... As for the power-ups, we have ourselves the Wisp that was originated from
Sonic Lost Worlds.
Hey, it's Sonic Colors.
Sonic what?
I think this is an interesting idea for making the Wisp as a power-up. Not only it's rather charming, but it's also straightforward in terms of the Wisp's name and what they do. Rocket shoots projectiles, Void sucks stuff, lasers? I mean, it's much more understandable instead of whatever All-Star Transform tries to do. Here's a pop quiz. For you who hasn't played Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform, what do you think this is for? My point exactly. Alright, let's move on and continue because we're going to talk about one of my favorite parts in video games in general. You know, It's funny that I purposely made this segment to express my love of video game music, but surprisingly I have nothing to say but praise. Also, a huge shout out for RelaxAlax for making this awesome video about video game music is real music. I highly recommend you people to watch that video if you want to understand more about what I mean about this. Anyways, the music in this game is outstanding. I may be a bit biased because I genuinely enjoyed Sonic OST in general, but nevertheless they nailed the performance in the music. New and classic arrangements perform beautifully and well fit for a racing game to be jammed while playing. Crush 40 is back, ladies and gentlemen. They is back, peeps. Green light ride. The music in this game is probably one of the reasons why I keep going back to play this game. No joke, it really did impact me to that point. So again, props for the people behind the music productions, Hyper Potions, T. Lopez, Jun-san, I love you.
このゲーム面白かったけど質問があった
And what's that?
このゲームにガチャがあるの
Really?
As much as I hate to admit it, yes, this game has a gacha system.
Boy, oh boy, what a world we're living in right now!
Who are you talking to?
You don't have to worry too much though, the in-game currency is not even that hard to get and the price for each roll is not that even expensive. So all you have to do is just keep playing and you'll get there eventually. Now the story mode though! It's there.
In my opinion, Sonic Lost World still has the best story from the entire series.
Can I kill him?
The story mode is there to extend the gameplay. It's more on text feud's fan service than its cutscene. It's not bad, sure it's fully voiced, but I wish it had more than that. Now speaking of fully voiced, the voice actor.
That was awesome! As much as I like to run, it was really fun to drive this thing.
It was almost as fun as fishing.
Did what they do best. I don't really want to dive in too much on the voiceover in this game. By far, it's alright, it's cool. Fun fact though, maybe you guys think this is already obvious, but if you change the game voice audio into a different language, it actually has a whole different meaning into it. Like for example, this scene where Silver just couldn't trash talk back.
I'm so gonna own you, Silver.
Okay.
No, you're supposed to say in your dreams, Sonic.
In your dreams, Sonic.
Too late. The moment's passed.
I don't know, man, it's just funny. If you change it to Japanese, they were actually talking about the incident back at Sonic 06 when Silver is trying to kill Sonic. And I gotta say, it's a really fun throwback. Who are you?
My name is Jeff.
I do need to remind you guys that the last area of this game needs to be unlocked by finishing the story mode. And now the story mode feels kinda mandatory. Kill me now. It's not even a new original track. They just took the 3 Egg Fleets tracks from the first Sega All-Star Racing and called it a day.
We could have added Windy Hill Zone.
Is that from Sonic Lost?
Yes, it's from Sonic.
So all in all, I think that's kind of it. It's a game that I have a love-hate relationship with, even though I really want to say that this is a good game, I just can't say that it is, over the things that we've already talked about aside from the gameplay. It's a solid game that has been unfortunately abandoned, despite being a game that probably has a chance to actually achieve success if they didn't abandon it. Though I do want to say that I do have fun playing this game with my friends. It brings joy, laughter, friendship, and most importantly, teamwork. Because we're Sonic heroes!
Alright, I guess that's enough. I had fun with the game at least.
そうだねスマを残した時からこういう楽しみは初めてだ
You have a wife?
だってばよ
I think Lost World is still better.
I got kicked out. Ooh, but don't you worry though. While I was there, I took one of his valuable hairdryer and ran straight back home. You know you could just take their PS5. Damn it.